What's going on? Psych Perspectives, Geo Fucks. Am I asking for too much, or am I asking the wrong person? So the other aspect of this is, why do we pursue people that are literally running from us or showing us indifference? You know, their behaviors, their actions are not showing that this is a mutual agreement. Like, they act like, and I say this because number 7, not so much am I asking for too much, but kind of, but number 7. How do you know somebody genuinely likes you? And to add on to the question, to put it back into the framework of, am I asking for too much? Am I wrong for thinking somebody that likes me should care about my needs and care about my feelings? Number 8, if you like somebody, shouldn't you want to do things for them that's going to make them happy? And keep in mind, there's no such thing as perfect. I'm not perfect. People are not, in my opinion, people are not going to meet all of your needs. It's impossible, in my opinion. You can get close. And I do think there's always an exception. There's probably somebody out there that's having all of their needs met and then some. Kudos to you. You are blessed, honey. Blessed and highly favored. But that's the exception. The vast majority of the time, a person is not going to be able to, in my opinion, is not going to be able to fulfill every single want and need that you have. So please understand, I'm not expecting the person I'm talking about or the person I'm in a relationship with in the future or what have you to meet every single need. But to completely ignore my needs and feelings and to think that I'm going to want to continue to deal with you or have the same feelings for you, in my opinion, is ridiculous. Like, you should be concerned about that person's needs. It's odd to me because people will sit up and they want their needs to be met. They want to be loved. They want to be cared for. They want people to show up for them. But then they will turn around and refuse to do that for other people and think that it's completely okay, because a lot of these types of people, their favorite thing to say is, I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't ask you to do that. Or you didn't have to do that. Then it ends up, which is very true. You know, a lot of this is also take accountability. I overextend, I overdo. And at the same time, I don't want to be dealing with somebody where I have to basically not be myself in order to be with them. Because now it's like I have to be indifferent, selfish, detached completely in order to continue to be in this setup, because I can't continue being who I naturally am because it's very one-sided. I'm drained. I don't get anything out of it. Like, I'm the one giving and they're the one taking. And don't get me wrong, they have definitely helped me. They have done things for me. But when I look at what I've done, what I continue to do, and also looking at the fact that my needs are not taken into consideration, my wants are not taken into consideration, my feelings are not taken into consideration, I'm just supposed to deal with the bare minimum, low effort, and indifference. And I'm supposed to be okay with that. But I have a strong inkling if the shoe was on the other foot and I was treating him the way he treats me, he would have gotten rid of me a long time ago. And that's the same thing, in my opinion, for Homeboy on TikTok. If he was treating the DL dude like how the DL dude was treating him, the DL dude would have dipset it and bounced a long time ago. A lot of times people don't really want you and they don't really like you, but they like what you do for them. They like how you make them feel. And that's the other issue of prioritizing and putting someone on a pedestal, is they become accustomed to you doing these things, even though they know they're not showing up for you in the same manner. You don't think that DL dude knew that he wasn't reciprocating effort and energy? He knows exactly what he was doing. But of course, he's going to continue to keep you along because he's benefiting from you putting him on a pedestal and centering him and doing all of these things for him and being so concerned about how he feels and his needs and his wants and his feelings. He's going to continue to stick to have you around because that's beneficial. That's a positive for him. But it's not a positive for you. You're not a robot. You also have needs and wants. You also have emotions and feelings. And that's the other part. Like, I don't want to feel like I have to be some cold-hearted, detached person in order to deal with you, because that's how you act. And that's the other reason why I'm sorry, but when we get in these dynamics, you really do kind of eventually have to leave, because you will end up acting the same way that they're treating you. And the out-cold part is you are likely going to become bitter from the resentment. And when a person that actually is willing to meet you where you're at, show up for you, meet some of your needs, meet some of your wants, care about how you feel, you're going to end up shitting all over them because you're still traumatized by the person who played you. And that's why, as time goes on, it's not healthy for us to stay in these dynamics. And this doesn't mean that the other person is some horrible, evil person. Because like I said in the other videos, sometimes people dead ass don't recognize that what they're doing is toxic, is negative, is giving narcissism, is giving user. They don't get that sometimes. And then other times they've been playing this game for so long, so they know they're going to meet somebody else that's also going to fall for the okie doke, and they're going to be able to bounce to the next person and do the same shit that they did to you, to them. Because let's be honest, these types of people typically bounce from person to person, and then every story is a sob story about how the other person didn't do anything for them. But then when you dig deeper, you kind of start realizing, yeah, you don't really do anything for other people. I think a lot of this is projection, okay, in some of these situations. But, yeah, like, I think you should care about the person's feelings. You should care about how they feel. And if the person is expressing how they don't feel loved and cared for because you go hours with not responding to them. But then when you call, you expect them to pick up right then and there. But then the other person texts you, even though you have your phone in your hand or near you 24/7, 365, you willingly choose to ignore their text messages for hours. I'm talking, it could be 8, 10, 12 to the next day or the other day after that day. Hours. But then the minute they call, they expect you to pick right up. Again, it is not reciprocated energy, and it really is draining. And you really kind of have to start recognizing that this is not okay.